Marriage gives women access to a man's resources without equal financial burden.
Wait, no, ask the question one more time.
No.
No. This is part of it. Ask the question one more time.
The fact that you do not know how to cook and I know how to cook doesn't mean that once we are together, I'm going to be cooking for you every time. I'm sorry, I do not. I do.
That sounds like a
I do not enjoy cooking. I do not.
Most men will automatically take over either out of respect for you and the marriage
Some
they're in,
know
or just
because
out
I-
of their ego.
Because
Yeah, you people should be looking at my close-up. I'm giving you guys gems.
We've brought together 4 bold voices to tackle a question that always sparks debate. Do men actually benefit more from marriage than women?
Hi, my name is Ajwa. I'm a very shy but interesting and fun person.
My name is Hadi. I am an avid reader with a preference for manga and Western comics.
My name is Redwan. Anything and everything that can be said about me sums up to that I am a big ass nerd. Anything and everything.
Hi, my name is Chantal. I am an actress and a TV presenter, and I am here to banta it out on do men benefit from marriage or do women benefit? I have the stance that it's certainly for men. However, there are some instances where women do benefit as well.
It's going to be mutually exclusive in that women benefit and men also have their benefits as well.
I think it benefits both parties equally, depending on the partners, of course.
I'm here today at the studios to battle out with my other panelists on why I think men benefit more in relationships. So stick and stay.
From finances to emotional support, expectations to real life experiences, this isn't just about love. This is about who really gains. Let's find out. Marriage changes a woman's body, mind, and emotions, while a man simply enjoys the results.
Okay, so I believe that yes, marriage does change a woman's body, especially if she's having a baby. Her hormones are, all over the place. So physically, she has changes. Psychologically, she also has changes. And to say that the man simply just enjoys the result, I think that half of the statement is a little bit harsh. But he's not necessarily having any changes to his physical body. Maybe his mood will also change because of the woman's mood, but the woman is the one who's bearing the brunt of all of the emotions.
I agree with you. Also, because even when she chooses to not have children, she will still have to be on birth control, and that can also take a toll on her hormones. Even her mood can change it can switch up at any time. So yeah, it's not just even about the childbirth, but even when she chooses to not have a child with the husband that she's in the marriage with, she still goes through some form of emotional and psychological changes, and even physically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so from my point of view, I do agree with the fact that the woman would experience physical and emotional changes, but we cannot downplay the fact that the man himself would also be going through some, basically some character development, because he has to make himself more grounded emotionally. He has to make sure he's doing whatever he's doing now. He's finding stability in the relationship itself, but he himself has to make sure he grows enough to be able to match whomever he's going to be associated with. Us, although I know this may sound a little wrong, we know women are the more emotional gender.
Okay.
Yeah, so I also tend to not agree entirely, because I do agree that women's bodies do change, whether they decide to have a child or whether they decide not to have a child. But the men also do have to go through some changes, psychological and emotional. He has to learn to love her the way she wants to be loved, which requires a lot of growth personally, because some people are just not willing to go through that. But then he also has to hold down the house with her or without her when she's going through labor, if she decides to have a child. And even after, he has to look after her and after the baby as well. So I think both saying the men just enjoy, I don't agree with that.
So from what you both are saying, it sounds like you both actually should have raised green flags and decided to raise red ones just to be combative, which is understandable. But because you both admitted that yes, a woman will have changes. So that means you do agree with the statement.
Exactly.
Right. So it is an agreement, and yes, but the reason why we disagree is the men part. Men do not just enjoy the situation.
Okay.
Men also develop. So you have to understand that you raised a very, very salient point with the childbirth. Now, a woman will be having the physical changes, the emotional and hormonal imbalances and all that comes with childbirth. But you have to understand that the man also has to be there and he has to grow along with the woman.
But
You see?
I need you to also understand that in as much as the woman, whether or not she decides to have a child, in your context, in your submission, you're saying if the woman chooses to have a child, the man has to develop some form of character to be able to love her properly and all of that. But you should also understand that there's two people in this relationship or in this marriage. So at the end of the day, there will still be some form of character development on the woman's side. Right. So that stance or that point is actually not only to the man. It's on both of them. At the end of the day, it's not just the woman, the man doing character developments. The woman has to also build her character to be able to love the man at that particular point. Because, like I said, emotions, she goes through a lot of emotional trauma. She goes through a lot of psychological and even physical changes. The fact that her body is changed can actually make her think that the husband doesn't love her a certain way. So now there's that burden, that psychological burden on her to dress a certain type of way to still be able to attract the husband. And that is actually overwhelming. So character development is on both sides. I don't think it's on.
I don't agree with the psychological burden part because that's where, when we talk about the man growing along with the woman comes in, because he has to be there for her and show her that she doesn't have to feel that burden because he understands as a person and as a man that yes, your body has changed and I'm right there with you. And then to your point about even if she decides not to have a child, he has to go on birth control. Birth control is not the only way to not have a child. You don't have to be on it. But if you do have to be on it, that's understandable. But men also can't undergo procedures when they don't want to have kids. They can get vasectomies. Vasectomies change a man's body as well. So I don't agree that it's just one-sided. I think it's both parties.
There's always that option of vasectomy. But how many men out of 10 would opt for vasectomy when they know a woman can take birth control to not have children? Okay, it's always the women taking the birth. You don't even use the condoms.
You have to agree that due to the fact the permanence of vasectomies, it takes a little more thought.
You have no idea what birth control does to women's body.
It changes the body. We understand that. Like I said, the hormonal imbalances are horrible, right? But I'm saying there's a certain permanence to vasectomies. Once you have a vasectomy, there's no turning back.
Okay. It can be reversed, no?
I think we've taken the conversation completely out of context.
Exactly.
Do women's bodies change and do men just what was
exist?
Now,
enjoy.
Leading up to that, when you were raising your counterpoints to mine, you said women also experience the character development. The use of the word also means you admit that men do not just sit down and...
Yeah, I no. So we are trying to point out the different changes that happens. We are saying that women go through emotional, physical body changes and all those things. So, and we agree with that. My point is...
that men also go through...
So if you're saying... Yes, the question... Yes. So if...
No.
Let me make my submission.
On only
let me make my
that person goes
the
through.
question was one question.
Yes, the question was very clear. The question was very clear. So I'm saying that if your point is character development, so the man can love the woman in a way that she would want to be loved at that particular point in her life, I am saying the woman also goes through some form of character development. So it is not only towards one gender. At the end of the day, character development is being... it occurs on both sides. So there's no point for you to use that as a banter. Do you get my...
That is my exact point. The use of the word also means you yourself, Adjoa.
I agree. I did not refute that fact. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, the character development is not only occurring on the man's side. So if the woman is also going through some form of character development, then what change has happened? What change has happened?
No, my flag was a red flag because of the fact that you said men just enjoy it. That is my only problem. See, the first part I 100% agree with. The latter part is where I have a problem. So if
Okay.
I had given a green flag, which means I agree with the entire statement. But the fact that I don't agree with the latter part of the statement means the entire statement is wrong.
The second half of the statement is a subsidiary of the first half.
Yes.
So meaning that you're standing on the subsidiary to put up a red flag.
Exactly, because that's what makes up the entire set,
Okay.
so to speak.
Because it's part of the full question. It's women's bodies change, yes, but men also enjoy the benefit, which is a very strong.
We don't just men don't just rest on their laurels
So,
and then
okay.
just she's going through all that. Sucks to be her and then moves on. No, we go through our
But
own
you
stuff.
know, usually it is at that point when women have or go through those changes that men tend to look outside of their marriage.
Okay.
Also because the changes have occurred, and
switch.
now it's like, okay, I'm not seeing her the way she used to, she's not like that. She
Okay.
doesn't have the curves. I'm not seeing her boobies standing like that,
And
Then
this
it's
is why
like,
you raised the point about men having to grow.
where do you have to grow?
No, because you have to understand that there's a point that says boys will always be boys.
You are missing the point. If
Let me just finish, right? But once you integrate yourself into a family, that statement ends. You see, you cannot have childish tendencies anymore. Just get up at any time and just leave your house. I'm going to chill with the boys, and then you'll be back. You can't do that anymore. Which is why if you, I don't know whether, yes, you notice in a lot of boy circles, if like there's a wifey in the, we forgo somewhere, nah, Charlie, madam, the house, I don't go feel good there. You bob. Yeah, you have to grow. And if you have a boyish or a childish mentality, if the boys say they're going somewhere, you're about to say maybe your girlfriend will not agree. You will not even be able to voice it out. Because the boys will laugh you.
So the point is that you agree with the statement that women's bodies do change.
Yes.
Okay, so that is a green flag right there.
Okay.
However, the other half of the statement that you do not agree, which we can all say we don't agree on, is the fact that men don't just sit around and just twiddle their thumbs and say, oh yeah, well, her body changed, so what? And that's the statement that you both decided to stand on to raise a red flag.
Yes.
So we can all conclude that it is a green flag for us.
It is a half red, half green.
it can't
question.
be.
If we had
It's a
something
green
of the
flag.
sort, we would have used
It's
it.
a green flag
Because
for all
the
of
first
us.
part does not work
Like, it's
alone.
green flags.
Yes.
For the conclusion of this segment, we are all green.
Marriage gives women access to a man's resources without equal financial burden.
Okay, now at this point, this is intentional.
It has to be.
Wait, no, ask the question one more time.
Oh.
No. This is part of it. Ask the question one more time.
Marriage gives women access to a man's resources without equal financial burden. Marriage gives women access to a man's resources without equal financial burden. Let's take into that, huh?
Yeah.
Really? I really believed in you. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Honestly, I agree, because in as much as the woman would bring certain things to the table, financially we know that most of the time it's just the men who bring in most parts of the contribution. And in the context of marriage, once you guys are married, there's that burden, there's that responsibility on the man. So the woman can get some form of benefits. And that is why if a man is not taking care of the woman financially, the woman can actually say that she's not getting this and that. And when in actual fact, she could also do things on her own to just make some money for herself. But there's always that responsibility on the man to provide financially to the woman. So obviously, I agree to the question.
So the question was, marriage gives women a financial access
Yes.
to the man without there
Equal.
being an equal or like a reciprocal.
Exactly.
So I would say yes, because when a woman is married, yes, the emphasis is now on the husband to be the one who's providing for the
Yeah.
family, who's bringing in the income, the majority of the income, even if the woman does work. Ideally, I feel like per our Ghanaian society,
Exactly.
it often is the sense of that a husband's money is for the family and a woman's money is for herself and the children.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say yes, because the way a man, let's say if you guys are renting, the way a man would pay for the rent, the woman is not the one paying for the rent.
Exactly.
Maybe the woman's money is to buy the groceries for the children and everyone to eat.
Yes. So the
She's not the one
financial
paying the rent.
burden is unequal.
Well,
Yeah.
That's the
reason
point.
Why
Yeah.
I raised my flag,
Mm-hmm.
which is red, is because as much as I agree with you about the man taking care of the household and everything, you also raised another point that the woman also, even if she does contribute, she buys groceries for the house and takes care of the kids, which I think is a very big part of it. It's a very big and significant part of the financial burden of an entire household that makes me not agree with the entire statement. That's the her reciprocating with what you said with the man to take care of the entire household, which is why I raised my flag.
Okay. So in my case, the reason why I raised the red flag was because we are long past the tradition of, the traditional household where every single thing was a burden on the man and the woman was supposed to stay at home. Nowadays, we see it as a norm. Women out earning their husbands and actually helping to, take care of the homes and being seen as the breadwinner of the family. So people are also popularizing the notion of house husbands. We are seeing a lot of those, in the Western countries. Maybe Ghanaian men are not there yet, but we are seeing a lot more men staying home to take care of the kids, bonding with the kids, and stuff like that. So, saying that a woman just enjoys or she comes to get introduced to, financial stability, I feel is wrong, because sometimes, or a lot of times nowadays, the women are the actual earners. There's a lot of opportunities for them. Then you see the man maybe doing earning enough. It's not like he gets by, but the woman is the one who is in charge.
My submission is, I still agree to the question or the stance that women benefit unequally or they don't bring in any equal financial responsibility in the marriage, because see, in as much as you're paying, how many women actually pay for groceries when they're married? It's still the man's. Usually it's still like some men would give the women money to go and buy the groceries, unless of course there's that form of arrangement where the woman's money or salary is being used to finance those things. But we need to think about the rent. Most of the time, in most cases, it's the men who pay for the rent. In most cases, they are paying for the school fees. In most cases, they are paying for the bills at home. So even if the woman is bringing in some form of money or finances to cater for groceries, you cannot compare that amount of money to how much the men bring into the marriage in terms of calculating the things that they take care of. That is my point.
I think where you and I are standing from is from the standpoint of women in a position that have married up.
Yes.
And the men are talking from a standpoint in a position of the statistics of Ghana,
Okay.
whereby 60% of the breadwinners here in Ghana are women.
Women, yeah.
So if we're debating from those two sides, then I can see why we all chose the flags that we chose. Because we're looking from the standpoint of if I'm getting married, I'm not marrying somebody who's on the same level as me. I'm marrying someone who's on a higher level than me. So the expectation is that my husband is going to be the one who is providing the money for the groceries, the money for the rent, and so forth and so on. However, some people do not always have that luxury to marry up.
Yeah.
So they end up having to marry someone who's on an equal pedestal as them, or maybe a man who might be a little
and then
bit.
now they do like 50-50. That's when the
Right.
discussion of 70-30, 50-50,
Right.
60-40.
And that's where I believe the men are also arguing their point
Yeah.
from the standpoint
Yeah.
of, because women now work and women are also, especially in Ghana, women are seen as sometimes the sole breadwinner.
Yeah.
According to the statistics of Ghana, that we can argue that point.
Yeah.
So
Chantal, you should have raised the red flag.
No. No.
You should have raised the red flag, because the point I was making as a result of raising the red flag is exactly what you just made. So
I only made that point to summarize the reason why we're having this side of the debate. I still
Exactly.
stand on my green flag because
still
I'm
believe that?
not marrying down.
No, you are not.
Yeah, you
but
are not.
Yeah.
but
So-
a lot more women are.
Really? I
Maybe
don't think
the
so.
people that you know.
Yeah, I don't
Nobody
think
that I
so.
know is marrying down.
because they don't think it's that much of an issue.
But then-
If she's very financial independent, like she holds her own. What Neo calls an independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
You see, she holds her own. No matter where you take her, she can carry herself perfectly.
But then I
I
also
think-
don't think we should be framing it as marrying down. I think we should frame it more as,
Just marrying.
It is what it is.
No, but it's
married.
No, it is
But
what
it
it is.
is.
There on that bridge, I will stand. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
I don't think it's marrying
You either
down.
marry at the same level, marry up, or you marry
Exactly.
down.
So I feel like with what you said and with what I said, it's more marrying on our same level. I mean, obviously there's
Okay.
the situation where they marry down, but based on how she explained it and based on what you said and based on what I said, most of what we're saying is marrying on the same level.
Yeah, I'm going marrying down.
Okay.
But but it could be that you would marry up and still things would happen. Things happen. I mean,
Right?
things
Right.
happen,
That's
and then
true.
you now come down to a certain level where you feel like you are on the same level with the woman.
Yeah.
There are some men who marry women on their level and they are still providers. They still choose to do those things because it makes them feel good. And traditionally, that has been it. Like men are the providers financially. So that's what I'm saying. In as much as I'm making my money, once I'm married, there are certain things that I feel should be done by the man.
Right.
So financially, we will not necessarily give equal contribution, but I may support you in certain areas that may not necessarily be financial. And that is why I agree to the question whether women get or benefit some resources or get some resources without equally contribution financially to the marriage.
But then you raise the point of traditionally, but then here's the case where we've long moved past the point of traditional doing things
Traditional
traditionally.
marriage.
But how
Yeah,
can we
that
say
is
we've
why-
long moved
so
when the
if-
country
if
that
we
we live in is
choose-
only
if we
69
choose-
years old.
If we choose
So how
exactly,
long has
if
it
we
really
choose to
been?
contextualize certain things, then we are not going to end this debate at all. Because every situation and what it calls for. There are some marriages that people are doing 20-80, and 80, the woman is the one doing the 80. There are some marriages that men are doing 100%. So all you need to do is to exist. And I mean, I would love that. But all you need to do is to exist. But, definitely, even if it's 100-0 financially, emotionally, the woman could be doing 100 too, and the man is just doing 0. Because if you're going somewhere and I'm having fun and the man is just... No. If we're going somewhere and we're on a vacation, you've paid for the yacht and everything, and then I'm taking my selfies, take a photo of me and you're like, no, that's not your thing. I should get... You are not being there for me emotionally. So it could be that
Right, but
there's
then
no balance.
that brings
This one
us-
that is what I'm saying. Let's look at this context of finances. They are asking us, do women get certain resources, certain benefits without necessarily equally
So
Inputting.
inputting or
I
contributing
agree
financially
with
to
you,
the
Adjoa,
marriage?
in the sense that true, sometimes even when they're equal, the man feels it's his onus to
Exactly.
provide. So
As
I
a
get
man.
that. I understand that. And even in the situation where, although one might not like this, the woman marries down.
Yeah.
If at some point the man manages to catch up and then hits where she is, he automatically takes over the responsibility.
Exactly.
But my point is,
It's not, I don't think it's automatic
Oh,
because
no,
some
he
men, because you've exposed them to a certain way of living within the marriage, they are like, even if I'm making it, I don't have to make her know because then she would turn around and say she doesn't
That's
have.
true, but
and
most men,
Some
that's
men do
true,
it.
But most men will not
do
do
it.
it.
I
Either out
promise
of
you.
respect or
Adjoa,
out
that
of
one,
an
the
ego
ego-
thing. Exactly.
The male
An ego thing.
it's not a thing.
It really is.
Unless Mtimo Suma, then that
Exactly.
one.
Yeah,
People
most
like
men
that.
if you're earning, let's say, $120K a year,
Yeah.
and then I start earning $150K, automatically,
Yeah.
the roles you were doing in the house, I won't let you do them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll be
Most
uncomfortable having you
men
do
will automatically take
Men
over
are
either out of
prideful creatures.
respect for you and the marriage, they're
Some
in,
men-
or just
because
out of their ego.
Because
So
I
it
think
comes back to the fact that you guys agree with what we're saying. That the
Yes.
man will still take up.
saying that nowadays,
But
the
you know,
dynamic
has
you know,
shifted,
lately-
exactly.
When it boils down to it,
lately-
it sounds like you guys should have also been green
Lately,
flags,
I've been
which you
having-
guys
Which means
chose
you
to
should
be
But then
have
we
also
think
been
it should have been red flags
No,
as well.
See, lately I've been having conversations with some men and they tell you that they prefer for the woman to also have some form of money, she should also come with she should be someone coming from a very good home where there's money.
That's our point.
So my point is, so you saying that it's more of an ego thing where the man would want to provide. It's not automatic. So because some men also love the benefits of getting financial support from women.
So actually, yes, that's what we are saying as well. But we are saying in the event that a woman has it more, the man does not have a problem going with that. That's
Well,
all we are saying.
so
So you
let's
guys are
see.
both green
I mean,
flags.
I
Red flag.
Green flags.
I think we should have
Yeah.
all gone red flags.
Green flags.
Marriage benefits men more because the system was designed around them.
Okay, so this is a very tricky, a very dicey one. But again, although as you said previously, we have transcended and gone past the notion of a traditional marriage, it's still there that if a person enters a home, automatically their mind is the man of the family, is the head of the family instantly. And so that's why I raised my green flag.
Okay, I also raised my green flag because if we're looking at the structure of marriage, right? And if we look at the longevity of both a husband and a wife, you end up seeing that a man's mortality rate lowers when he's married compared to when he's not. So we can also get into that.
I chose to raise my red flag because I think, especially, let me say, marriage under the ordinance tries to protect the women in the marriages. And so I don't think it was necessarily framed or designed to benefit men per se.
Exactly. And I don't think marriage was designed to benefit men. Maybe the Western style of marriage, but I think if you look at how we've traditionally done marriage in Ghana, in Africa, even going back far beyond getting colonized, you see that women tend to have a lot of power close to or equal to that of men when it comes to marriage. It's recently that, we've gotten to the point where we're doing the power dynamics where the man has all the power because he's the man of the family. And so that's how come I raise my red flag.
Your red flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adjo, I want to actually kind of go
Yeah.
with you on
Yeah.
the topic about the
Yeah.
the ordinance. So if we're talking about the ordinance and we're talking about the laws,
Yes.
then we're looking at it from this standpoint, right? I think when I was doing my research about this topic, I saw just in 2020, a law was passed that stated that it is now illegal for you to demand a woman come with a man to purchase land. So that law was only made into effect because there was first discrimination against women.
Exactly.
So you're saying that the ordinance is there to protect women, but you also have to understand the only reason why the ordinance even exists to begin with is because of the discrimination against women.
Exactly.
So meaning you're supposed to be a green flag.
No, I'm
You
not
see-
supposed to be a
Yeah.
green
Let me
flag.
just come in here. So you see, what she's saying is due to how traditional marriage is. Okay, so every single thing that is supposed to be marriage is centered around the man, and you could think about the fact that a wedding is a very it's for the woman basically,
Right.
but the entire institution of marriage is made in such a, and the ordinances and the rules that they are bringing about nowadays with the special institutions like DOFSU and so it's because men do not have a good track record of the amount of using the amount of power that they have in relationships or
Okay.
in marriages. So there's violence.
Yes.
There's the fact that they undermine some of the women. They demean them in more ways than one. You see,
And-
and as a result, they had to make rules like this
Okay.
to at least protect.
Exactly.
And going
to
off what
protect
you're
the
saying,
women.
but to counter that, I think you are more in line with what she says. And to counter that, I do agree that, if you look up throughout history, women have faced a lot of oppression and a lot of discrimination, not just in marriages, but then basically we're talking about marriage right now, so we'll focus on that. You realize women have faced a lot of discrimination. Women weren't able to even vote at first
Yes.
until laws were passed to stop that. But I think I feel like that's just how Western marriages have been for a long time. That's why when I was making my initial point, I said, when you look at African type marriages and before we were colonized, you realize it hasn't always been like that. The power dynamics in relationship, in marriages, have always been where the woman is always equal to the man, if not
So-
even having more. because
keep
we've
saying
always,
that,
I
but
feel
we
like
haven't
we've always
given an example.
respected.
I
I
don't
feel like
think
we've always
so.
respected
In
the,
as much
the
as
women in our society.
we both raised our red flags, I don't agree because traditionally
Okay, so she's
women
a
do
green
not have a
flag.
point
You're
at all.
green flag.
No,
That's
I'm
a
not
green
a green flag. I am looking at marriage under the ordinance.
Right.
If I look at marriage under the ordinance, I would say that marriage was designed to protect the women because a woman could actually go into a marriage with, let's say, basic education certificates. And the man can choose because there is also that responsibility, that financial responsibility on the man. The man can choose to say, okay, I'm going to take my wife through school just so she can get to a certain level that I'll be proud to say that I did this for her. So that is
No, I agree. I agree with what you're
let
saying.
me make my point. So
Right.
that is something that men do. If that happens, obviously the woman has benefited in the marriage. Do you get my point? Obviously the woman has benefited. So it's not just the man benefiting, but the
Yes,
woman
so-
has benefited. I'm not done. Allow me to make my submission. So now, how do you say that is the man who has benefited in this context? And also, if the woman, let's say the woman comes into the marriage without a job, just because she's married to a man who has some form of connections, the man could actually help this woman to get a job. When that happens, the marriage has benefited the woman.
But I think the key here is historically.
It's not, I don't think,
Yes, the key of the question is historically. And if
And
we're
that's-
talking about
It's
historically,
mostly benefited
it's
men.
historic. In the present day, we
So,
can find the
I
benefits.
don't think I had historically in the question.
No.
That's,
So,
that's why I
it
even
was-
had him read
yes.
it again
Because
because I thought I knew we were gonna miss it.
I don't think I had historically because if we are to talk about it historically, obviously we would go with the man benefiting more because the woman will be
So
the
you're
one.
a green flag.
No, I'm not a green flag. That's what I'm saying. I put my answer in a certain context. That's why I said
And I agree with your
marriage under the ordinance protects the woman. All these laws came to being as a result of the things which were happening to women in marriages at the time. So obviously there was some form of thoughts into, oh, how do we make sure that these women are not segregated? How do we make sure that these women are also equally benefiting? And that is why the marriage of ordinance, that's why the marriage of ordinance came to being. And that is why I think women benefit more.
I agree with you. I agree with your point. But then with what she said, that's why the way the question is framed is why I approached it historically.
But you still didn't give us any examples. You kept talking about how it was done prior to colonization, but you didn't give us any of the actual marital examples prior to colonization. All right, so green flag. So with that being said, if we're taking a look at
Well
it
done.
historically, it's always been that when a woman gets married, she adopts her husband's last name.
Yes.
So, and in the modern day, you have women who are getting married who are not taking on their
So
husband's last
to
name.
counter that,
So when we're talking about the historical aspect,
right.
historically, the marriage has always benefited men. It's because of modern day that we're finding all the reasons to give women some power
I agree.
and some reason.
So to your example about
Okay,
historically,
Oh, yeah.
the wives having to take their husband's name. That's why when I was making my point, I said, it's designed to benefit men if you're looking at it like from a Western standpoint point of view. Because when you go to the Middle East per se, in Islam, the woman doesn't have to. Right now, most of the time we do, but that's more cultural. When you look at it from like a religious point of view, in Islam, when the woman marries a man, she has no obligation to take his last name.
Okay.
And then in right from the time of the Prophet, in marriages, when they get married, the woman's money is her money, but the husband's money is for her and the husband. And that's how it is. It's a law. That's how it has to operate. It's not a matter of choice. That's why I disagreed. And that's why I raised my red flag. That's why I said, historically, when you look back, it wasn't designed.
So context matters when we are trying to expound on this topic because, sorry, I feel like we are all making very valid points. I mean, traditionally or historically, marriage was designed to benefit men, and I agree.
Green flag.
But not a green flag.
Red.
But I'm not fighting it. I just want us to understand that in as much as there has been instances where men have benefited over the period, we've seen some form of like change. We see how men are opening shops for women just because. We see how men are supporting their women just because. So at the end of the day, we see that there's some form of benefits going into a woman from a very bad background could meet someone from a very good background, get married to that person, and her life will just transform just like that. And you see that it even changes. You see how she takes care of her children in that marriage because she's got a good husband. Compare her situation to someone, or maybe her family member marrying someone from that same bad home and then having children. The children, their upbringing and everything, the way they will take care of the kids would even be different. But because she got married, even though she's from a bad home, she got married to a man from a very good home. She's able to refine her lifestyle such that it reflects even on the children that she has with the same person. So women benefit.
Ajua, if anything, I think you're giving us all the points as to why you agree.
You are
I don't agree. I don't
Yes, you
agree
do.
with it.
Because every point that you've given has stated why
The thing is benefiting men.
No, it's benefiting.
And the
Women.
reason
I
why
have given
men
you
have-
context.
Yes,
A woman comes into a marriage with nothing. A man supports her, and then she becomes a somebody.
he's
It is
doing
the
that
woman
because
benefiting.
Historically, he has been the one to benefit. So now it's a form of reparations. To
No,
him.
so now my point is, at the end of the day, there's some form of benefit to a woman. How many women would you see? To be very honest, I am a gender advocate, but how many women would you see supporting their husband to become a somebody statistically?
The ones that marry down.
How many women how many women marry down? If we are using statistics, even how many women marry down?
And even the ones that
Because
do marry
your
down
family
end up
will
leaving.
make mockery of you. Your friends will make
A lot.
mockery of you. And so even if you are marrying down, you will not be as you cannot compare that to a man marrying down, like a man marrying down and then bringing the woman up. At the end of the day, the woman benefits. I think the woman benefits more than the man. And even in the cases of divorce, if I come in with nothing, now you've helped me to to do my PhD. I have a very good job. And now there's a divorce because you've cheated. I can fight so that I can get some things from you just because we were in a marriage and you decided to cheat. But you made me a somebody then. So honestly,
Ajua, I think you are.
I'm
deep
not
down, she's
a green flag. I'm a red flag.
But this
please.
banter was good. But deep down, she's a green
Yeah,
flag.
she is green flag. All she did was green flag.
A married woman is supported. A married man is responsible for everyone.
Whoa. I think historically, traditionally, current times, back in the day, when you look at it, a man is always taking care of the household. He's the man of the house. And the woman is always there to either be his partner or to be his support. Now, there are times, even in households where both partners are working, when the woman ends up getting pregnant and she has to take a sick leave, she has to rely on the husband. So I feel like in most cases, the man is the main support of the household and the woman is just backup. That was a bit harsh, but you get what I mean.
No, I do not get your point. Honestly.
You don't get my point.
I agree to this because usually, like you said, the man is always the man of the house. In some cases, I've already stated that sometimes in most cases, women marry up. And because the responsibility is also on the man to take care of the woman, the taking care of the woman can even transcend to her family members and other people. Yeah. So we are saying that yes, the woman is supported and the man takes care of every other person. But one way or the other, the woman still takes care of the man. But it's just to me, it's factual that the man ends up taking care of the woman and then also every other person that may even be in relation to the woman.
Yeah, I agree.
But that is also
maybe I didn't say it well. So like to our earlier argument or conversation where Hadi mentioned that I might not like marrying down.
Yeah.
I don't usually when I'm thinking about marriage or I'm having a conversation about marriage, I don't think, oh, marry up, marry down, marry.
Yeah.
I just think about it as like a partnership.
But
so maybe I didn't say it in that way, but I agree with everything
even
you
in
said.
partnership, in partnership, it has always been that the men do the supporting. The men do there's
Yes, I
that
agree.
responsibility
I agree.
on the
We're on
woman.
the
So
same page.
once they are giving to the woman, they are supporting the woman. The woman is being supported, and this kind of support can transcend because even as the man is supporting the woman, because she's very well supported, she's able to, or she's capable, she gets to a level where she's capable of even taking care of
Other
the
people.
other
So the
people.
question
So yeah.
was, marriage supports women, but the man has to basically like is
Take care of
responsible-
everyone.
No, he's
Yeah.
responsible
For everyone, yeah.
everything. So I put my red flag up because
Okay.
no, well, yes, the woman is supported, but no, the man doesn't have to be responsible for everyone. Because at the end of the day, just because he's supporting the woman doesn't mean now everything, if it's bad, is not his fault. If the woman does something wrong, she did something wrong. She has to be called out for it.
Of course.
So that's my
I
stand.
think you're a green flag because what
No.
you're
Yes,
saying,
you are a
because
green
you're
flag.
agreeing with us just in a different way. Because yes, when we say support, it doesn't mean the man is just responsible for everything and then she's just sitting on her thumbs.
No.
Not exactly. They are both supporting the household, but he's like the main lead.
Exactly. Like
and
the
she's
engine.
he's backing him up
Yeah.
because behind every successful man and all that.
Okay.
I want to hear
So
from you.
you see the point. This point ties into the second one.
Right.
Women are no longer just relegated to traditional roles.
Okay.
So she doesn't just do the usual, childbearing, raise the kids, Islam, just help the
Yes,
kid learn the
yes.
Quran and stuff like that. Women are now being seen in high positions. you
Yeah.
know, and roles where they are serving as role models to, the next generation
Of
of men
course.
and women.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
so in this instance, those women are not just resting on their laurels, just going with the flow.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of them are, hands-on in the, the way the family is run. The decisions that are taking, it's not just the man comes and say, henceforth, every Sunday you are going to eat fufu. Doesn't work like that anymore. The woman is present in the decision making. They sit down. It is now a partnership. So
Right.
this one is bringing their own. This one is bringing their own, which means you should have been a red flag. You shouldn't have been a green.
No, I think both of you should have been
No.
green flags. 'Cause
Yes.
You're saying it's like two sides of the same coin. You're saying what we're saying, but in a different way.
Yeah.
We are saying women don't just take the support.
No,
No,
guys,
we-
they're not.
We're not
I
saying
feel
that.
like maybe you're
I think-
misunderstanding
yes.
what we mean by support.
Yeah, because-
just because we're saying, oh, she supports the household, doesn't mean she doesn't have any authority
Because
or
even
power.
when, imagine,
Yes.
even when a woman gets to a certain level, very like higher level, think of whatever level it is. Even if she gets there and she has a very bad or terrible husband, one way or the other, it would affect him. But if the woman or if the man is supporting the wife, go for it. Like, I love whatever thing you're doing. When we are saying support, we are not necessarily talking about financial. We looking at it, even that emotional support, that's support of, yeah, I'm always proud of you and wherever it is you are. That support alone can make the woman go for more. Do you get me? But it's really, even as he's supporting the woman, he ends up supporting every other person that is probably in the woman's life, because you want your woman to feel comfortable and very confident in whoever or whatever she is.
Partnership,
It's partnership, but there's
which
still a
makes
way
it that she's also doing her own.
she's
in
doing
the
her
marriage.
own. Of
but
course,
yes,
she's
exactly.
doing
So
her
she's
own.
supporting
But
And
her.
there's nothing she's
question-
doing that is a support that makes it seem like she's subpar.
Support
She's
doesn't
on
have to
his
be
level.
less than
she's
or
not
on
subpar.
his
subpar.
level or
She's
No,
above.
but then
not
support
subpar.
doesn't mean
That's
less
what I'm
than
saying.
or subpar.
Do you understand?
There's no.
Like,
There's
that's what I'm
no.
saying. There's no metric. I understand, but I'm saying what I am saying is nowadays women are either on par with their husbands or above. Okay, because I read a certain text somewhere where they say everything you give a woman, she multiplies for you. So you give her, excuse the phrase, and like a sperm, she gives you a baby. You give her a house, she gives you a home. You understand? Like anything you give a woman, she'll expand for you.
Exactly.
So already, even in that context, and that is like old poetry.
Yes.
Even in that context, they understood that the role of a woman was either on par with what a man does,
Right.
or
Yes.
Okay, so hold on.
Yes.
So to use
but
that,
at the end of the day, there's still some form. I agree to this point because at the end of the day, there's still some form of support from the man. That is why I agree.
And to use your
but then it
analogy-
says that the man is responsible for everyone.
right, but
is-
hold on. To use
that's
the
the
analogy
issue.
about
Because yes, she's
If we're
Given- he's
using
not
leadership,
responsible
if
for
you're
everyone.
using leadership in the context of a man is the head of the house, obviously he will be responsible for everyone. It was on that premise I agreed to the point.
so red flag.
and
It's-
to use the analogy. to use
No,
the
it was a
analogy
green
of,
flag for me.
Giving a woman something and multiplying. When you come to football,
You
when the
gave
coach
the
gives the
support.
plan, even though
At the
he's
end
not
of the day,
on
you
the
gave
field
the
playing
support.
himself, and the coaches and the players are the one on the field executing the coach's plan. At the end of the day, the coach is still the one leading the team. He's the one that calls out the plays and everything. He's the leader. He might not be the one on the field making all the plays,
In this
but he came up
context,
with the
who is the
plan
coach?
and he's given.
In
The
this
husband
context,
is
the
the
husband
coach.
is
The
the
husband
coach.
is
That
the
is
coach.
what
Yes.
Which
he-
means the footballers are the
The wife,
wife.
yes,
the wife
exactly.
and maybe children.
That's the man supporting the woman.
That is
No.
that was the question.
And the question
says
is the woman is supported,
all gets
but the man is
supported,
responsible.
but
Yes,
the man is
exactly.
responsible
But the
for
man,
everyone.
In this instance, the man is not. If
What do you mean
he's
in this
not?
instance,
your
if you're the
footballers
coach,
lose a match,
if you're the
it is
coach, you are
affecting the
responsible for
players too.
everyone.
You don't just
Yes,
say,
no, but
Mourinho
just-
messed up.
just
You
be-
say the
no,
footballers
exactly,
on the
no.
park.
No, but
That's
at the
not-
end of the day, even yesterday's, let's use the Black Stars match against Austria. Everybody is blaming. Everybody is talking about
didn't do
Otuado.
that to
We are
myself.
not talking about the
Yes,
players.
and
At the end
when
of the day,
even-
there's a brain behind whatever engine is running. So if we are saying the man supports everyone, yes, the man supports the woman feels supported, and the man ends up supporting every other person in the woman's
Our
life.
point is that the responsibility is shared among every single one. In the
I
family.
agree.
So green flag, red flag, red
I
flag.
agree. No, I agree. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, there's still a form of support given to the woman.
And despite
I am
the fact
not
that the
refuting. I'm
responsibility
not.
is shared,
I'm
the
not.
man
I'm not
usually still
refuting
takes
the
the
fact
lead.
that I'm not refuting the
Okay,
fact
so
that
this is
women
going to
get
be one where we
supported
agree
by
to
the
disagree.
husbands
Sure.
in marriage.
We definitely.
That's,
But I feel
that's
like
my
they're all green
point.
flags.
Because imagine you have children with this man and then
Marriage is different for men and women, but neither experience is inherently superior.
Oh, hey. Look at us. We're all green.
yeah.
Finally.
Finally.
I mean, for sure. Everyone, every race, every background will always have their own if, ands, buts. They're kind of saying their pros and cons.
Yeah.
So cutting across the whole world, I agree.
Yeah.
Ever since we started this entire discussion, from the first point up until the fourth, we've all talked about how it benefits either one gender or the next, and that's
Yeah.
why I raised my green flag.
Yeah, I also raised my green flag because at the end of the day, there's some mutual benefits to both parties. And when we are talking about marriage, I have been speaking about marriage in the context of the ordinance or marriage under the ordinance, and we can all attest to the fact that both parties experience marriage differently, but there's always some form of like benefits, and there's also the cons as well. So yeah.
And I'm glad with this point we all agree. 'Cause even when you go back to our previous discussions, someone raises a red flag and then the other person says, no, but what you're saying means you're a green flag. So I think we've all basically been saying one side of the same thing where both parties, are benefiting or handling the marriage one way or another. And it doesn't mean just because we're handling it this way and you're handling it that way, this is better than this.
I think it's a beautiful way to wrap up the discussion, actually.
I agree.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's not going to be much debate.
Right,
No, I
because
don't
we're
think
all
we
on
need
the
to
same
debate
page.
this
Because
out.
we've seen the benefits to the men, we've seen the benefits to the women. We've
But tell us,
challenged
you
the
could tell
different-
us maybe one distinct benefit that you think men get, or each
one over the other. So let's be very honest. Me, for instance, if I'm taking myself as an example, I am a horrible cook. The only things I know how to cook, 3 minutes noodles, then I am done. Even then I won't stir fry.
Facts.
Are you serious?
Just chop
You're
onions into
joking.
this thing and boil one egg and I'm good.
I won't talk to a
Surreal.
guy
So,
like this.
Now imagine I get the love of my life, and then on the side, she's some Gordon Ramsay level.
Wow.
My life is set.
Yeah.
Okay. You see,
Yeah.
like she has work, and maybe in the time that she's maybe doing some cooking, she's teaching me, which means I may improve. And when I get better, I'll leave her. But
Hey.
guys, but I'm just saying, like there's benefits to both.
But the
genders.
fact that you do not know how to cook and I know how to cook doesn't mean that once we are together, I'm going to be cooking for you
If you
every
want, I
time.
will cook for you.
I'm sorry, I do not. I do not.
I have no problem.
That sounds like a
I do
threat.
not enjoy cooking. I do not enjoy cooking. I'll cook for you, but I really do not enjoy cooking, even for myself. I do not mind starving myself just because I don't feel like going to the kitchen.
I'll
I
go
really
see
don't.
takeout.
So, but I'm just
quick.
saying. I'm saying that to buttress your point of you are not a good cook. So if you find someone who knows how to cook, the fact that I know how to cook doesn't mean I'm going to be in the kitchen
Right, but in this
247.
instance, which is in my example, the person enjoys to cook.
Okay,
You understand? And
that's
so
fine.
I have
That's
my
fine.
fun there.
But I would say the benefits that I am looking forward to receiving in my marriage is just the emotional support and of course the financial support. I love chilling. I love chilling and I work so hard. So I feel like if I am able to get someone that I can come home to and just relax and forget about life, forget about the hard work that I do at my various workplaces. I mean, I would love that. So that is the benefit I'm looking for. It's because I see people enjoy that and I'm like, why can't I have that too? Of course I can.
you
So
will.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Really?
Pretty much the same thing. I think I just, with marriage, when I look at marriage, I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is just having my person. Someone I can be myself entirely with.
Exactly.
And they can be their self entirely with me. And we can just be silly together without worrying about being judged by the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to me, that's one of like the most beautiful things to look forward to when it comes to the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also agree. Definitely having your person, having that support,
Yeah.
emotional and, financial.
Yeah.
Helping someone who's there to bring your dreams to light. And vice versa.
Of course. Yeah.
Because I love to support people that I love. So I think that's a big trait of mine that I can really stand on. So it would be really nice to have that reciprocated.
Yeah.
by
The
someone
fact that you
I
people
call
don't
love
agree
in
with
my
the
life.
food thing really
I'm looking forward to the
No, but the
life
food
I'll
thing is real.
give to my children. There are certain things that I probably did not get the chance or the opportunity to experience based off of where I come from. But once I have the choice of choosing who my husband should be, I can have a fair idea the kind of lifestyle that I'll create for my children, and then they would also create for them. So yeah,
Okay.
I think we all agree, and it's a great way to wrap up the
green
conversation.
Hi guys, welcome to the return of Hardy that nobody asked for. So in this session, I really had fun with my fellow panelists. Chantal had a few moments there where I thought, what is she saying? But it is a discussion, so we had fun there.
So it was a great Banta session. However, I do feel like the guys were just coming up with things just to have an opposing decision. So they were questionable in my opinion. However, I think Ajwa had a really good example, especially when she was talking about the marriage under the ordinance. However, I think the third flag, Ajwa was really meant to be a red flag, but she chose to be a green flag. So
it's been an interesting one, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. Of course, Hadi and Ridwan were making certain submissions that were controversial to me. And of course, Chantel on the show also made some great submissions. I believe that you guys would love it, so stick and stay.
We just had a lovely discussion. It was really insightful. A lot of very different but also similar points were made. The one bit I really enjoyed was Chantel being very adamant that we were green flag or red flags, whatever flag she was raising. And then in the end, we were all green flags. That was a very beautiful full circle moment. We really had fun. And I hope you have as much fun as we did watching this.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our social media platforms at Banta Space for more engagement. See you same time next week.